If you want to be a new man, you have to stay in new places and do new things with people who never knew you before. If you go back to the same old ways, what else can you be but the same old person? Excerpt from Last Argument of Kings by Joe Abercrombie. Part 1. Yesterday Delivered. He stepped off the train with nothing that could be taken from him. The station smelled of wet iron and cheap coffee, a place designed for passing through, not staying. He approved. Cities like this didn't ask questions. They absorbed men the way water absorbs heat, leaving only the outline where warmth used to be, quietly, permanently. He checked the time out of habit. There was nowhere he needed to be. The watch was old, scratched, still accurate. Some things earned the right to remain. Around him, people moved with the practiced blindness of those already known. Known meant fixed. Fixed meant finished. He had no intention of being finished. He adjusted his coat, felt the familiar weight at his side, and chose a direction at random. Starting over didn't require a plan. It required motion. Resistance would arrive soon enough. The bar had the weathered exterior of somewhere fluent in the language of painful returns. A flickering neon scorpion crowned the sign. Twilight. That settled it. Inside, an exhausted quiet filled the near-empty room. He felt her before he saw her. A disruption in the pattern. A chair empty where someone should have been sitting. A conversation that ended too cleanly. She stood near the window, watching the reflection behind her instead of the street. People like that didn't look for exits. They'd already taken one. "You're predictable," she said. "A man starting over should be less so." "I almost had you in Tabrixi," she added. He didn't look at her. He crossed to the bar with the step of a man who knew every way out. He nodded to the barman. "You've had me before," he said. The glass touched the bar once. It didn't improve the outcome. Only then did he turn. "Strange," he added. "I still don't know your name." It wasn't a question. It wasn't for her. It was a courtesy dismissal. She smiled and recalibrated. When she spoke again, the accent had shifted, borrowed, heavy, east of somewhere. "Names are soft things," she said. "They make people careless." "So do lies," he replied. "Yours just dress better." Dressing has never been a problem for me. The scar in his chest replied silently before he could answer. A small, involuntary spasm. Old shrapnel remembering heat. And the decision that put it there. "We can do this easy," she said. "Or easier still." A pause then. A tension that sharpened the exhausted quiet into the language of violent endings. He thought of fire, not the wild kind. The patient smolder that exists only to become something worse. "What are you going to tell them?" he asked. "Does it matter? Venom, carefully measured. Let's hope my lies are as well dressed as you think." She turned. Her eyes made a declaration her words didn't soften. "Let's not meet again." He watched her go. "I can only tolerate so much predictability," he said. He finished his drink. Outside, the city swallowed him without ceremony. No one followed. No one cared. exactly as it should be. He moved through the street with the calm of a man who had no debt outstanding, no name worth stealing, no past that could be leveraged, no future mortgaged to comfort or repetition. He had stepped off the train with nothing that could be taken from him. And that, he knew now, was not emptiness. It was freedom, stripped to the bone and ready for use. Most men never survive holding it for long. Part 2. The drama. They dressed it up with academic language in the mid-20th century, but the mechanism is older than fire. Tribes figured it out before they figured out wheels. Change one piece, and the whole structure creaks. So, the structure pushes back. Role theory, identity maintenance, social equilibrium. Clean words for a dirty instinct. People do not experience you as a soul. They experience you as a function, a fixed silhouette they use to navigate their own chaos. When you stay consistent, they conserve energy. When you change, you tax them. And humans hate being taxed. So the moment you deviate, the system registers a fault. Not because anyone is evil. Evil is theatrical. This is maintenance. The social organism wants balance. It wants the story to remain intact. You changing threatens the narrative scaffolding everyone else is leaning on to avoid thinking too hard about their own lives. You don't even have to announce it. A shift in posture, a different silence, a refusal to play the expected line. That's enough. The response comes quietly at first. Jokes with teeth. Soft concern disguised as care. You've changed lately. Translation. Revert. Restore the version of you we've already optimized around. Predictability is comfort. Familiarity is cheap. An improved you is expensive because it forces recalculation. New variables, new boundaries, new hierarchies. You behaving outside your assigned category causes cognitive dissonance, and dissonance demands resolution. Most people resolve it by trying to put you back where you were. So they minimize, they discourage, they stall you with doubt, not out of hatred, but because you have become illegible to their past. Social inertia is the drag force created by other people needing you to stay frozen so their internal maps don't need redrawing. You stepping out of role costs them ease, so they send you the invoice. This is why real transformation looks antisocial before it looks admirable. First, you are inconvenient. Then you are alarming. Only later, if you survive, are you praised. The environment always lags behind the internal upgrade. Always. And here's the part. The smiling gurus never carve into stone. If you do not change environments, your old identity will be reinstalled for you. Friends, family, colleagues will reassert the previous version like corrupted software you thought you deleted. Same prompts, same expectations, same gravity. That's why he steps off the train with nothing that can be taken from him. No role he didn't choose. No mask he can't burn. He moves light because anything familiar can be used as a handle. He lets the world misread him because misreading buys freedom. The system will always try to correct you back to baseline. The only real question is whether you stay put long enough to let it succeed. Some men don't. They accept the cost. They pay it in solitude, friction, and being misunderstood. They move anyway, and in doing so, they exit the story that needed them small so others could remain asleep. That's not rebellion. That's escape. Part 3. The 7 Laws of Clean Exit. 1. You will be misread first. If people understand you immediately, you haven't changed enough. Early clarity means you're still legible to the old system. Confusion is the receipt that the break is real. 2. Do not explain the change. Explanation is a negotiation. Negotiation reopens the old contract. Speak less, move more. Let behavior do the violence words cannot. 3. Expect resistance without villains. Most opposition is not malice. It is gravity. Treat it like weather, not betrayal. You don't argue with gravity. You build mass and keep walking. 4. Anything familiar can be weaponized. History, favors, shared memories, old jokes. These are handles. The lighter you travel, the fewer leverage points exist. Nostalgia is a liability. 5. Isolation is a toll, not a symptom. Loneliness does not mean you are wrong. It means you have exited a shared fiction. Pay the toll. Don't decorate it. Don't dramatize it. 6. Change location or be changed back. Environments enforce identity. If you remain where you were forged, you will be reforged into the same shape. Distance is not avoidance. It is insulation. 7. Consistency beats intensity. One clean action repeated will outlast 1,000 declarations. The system cannot correct what no longer fluctuates. This is how identity hardens past retrieval. That's the set. No 8th law. No mercy clause.